from EXP and those watching around the world. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the main event. Produced by Rob, James, and Mammoth Events. This event is sponsored by Verbella. And now, from the sold-out virtual EXP Growth Summit, introducing from the blue corner, fighting out of Puerto Rico, weighing in at 2.78 million shares and 27,000 agents, the current and reigning world champion, the legend, Big Papa Gene Frederick. Introducing from the red corner, a young man fighting out of Sacramento, California, weighing in at 30,000 shares and over 13,000 agents, presenting the challenger, Maximus
Did you like the introduction?
Unbelievable. I can't believe it.
You didn't know that was going to happen, did you?
I had no idea. None whatsoever.
We had a little surprise for you, and it was hard for me to keep that. We've been holding that under ropes for about 2 weeks. I don't think anybody knew we were going to do that. Anyone. We didn't tell anyone who knew we'd get back to you. Was it entertaining?
That was fun. I don't know where you got that picture from, but I like the blue corner.
You can get James and Rob there. So anyways, well, hey man, great to have you on. We're excited to have you on today's virtual growth summit. We got a great day planned. We have some amazing speakers coming up, so sit tight. But I asked you to jump on. And are you in Puerto Rico right now? Are you in your lake house? Are you in Breckenridge? Where are you?
I'm at my lake house, about an hour east of Dallas. And I call this lake house the lake house that EXP built.
How'd they build it? Well, like in what way?
Yeah, well, we redid it about a year and a half ago and added about 1,500 square feet. It's about 4,000 square feet now. And
right there on the water, and you got Susan, the ski boat. She's happy as can be. That's awesome. Dreams come true, baby. Well, I asked you to come on and just share some vision with us, kind of where EXP is today, maybe where we've been, where we are today, and where we're headed. And so I'd love to hear from you, kind of what some of your thoughts are about where the Love Boat is going, EXP.
Well, thanks for asking. It's been, it's fun from the very beginning, Brent, as you know. How do we make real estate fun again? How have we made real estate fun again? You think about this. It's been my goal from the very beginning with Glenn, Jason, everybody. How do you give people, to me, making real estate fun again is giving them financial freedom. As you know, that's what we're doing. If you give somebody financial freedom, guess what's happening, guys? You can do anything you want, right? You asked me, am I in Breckenridge? Wait, am I in Dallas? I'm in Puerto Rico where I live, right? It's amazing what's happened to my life in the last 5 years. I'm going to give you some perspective. It's really funny. You and I have talked about this, Brent, so many times. Who dominated the 70s? Century 21. Yep. 80s, Remax. 90s, Realogy, right? 2000, KW. 2010, Berkshire Hathaway when they bought Prudential. What's common, guys, with all those five above us? They were franchises.
Yeah, franchises.
They were tops down. The owner was the focus. Here's what's exciting to me, where we're going. What's happened to us in the last 5 years is we have created a brand new model, period. When you get to be the new model, when you get to be the one that's the outlier, the one that's doing everything totally different, everybody's looking at you like it's just not going to work, right? So what's exciting to me, I want to give you guys a few facts you can use over the last 3 years.
Gene, I want to, before you do the facts, can I just jump in just for 1 second? I remember seeing Netflix going, that'll never work. And then Airbnb, who wants to stay at somebody's house in their bed? That'll never work. I was the guy at Uber, some weirdo drive me around. That'll never work. I'm probably the worst, most guilty of that. But now getting to be on the front end of an Amazon, on the front end of YouTube or a Google, it's the most exciting thing in the world. So I'm with you. I just want to give you, you're right.
Well, here's the thing. We didn't, we've never got to do any of that. I was in one of the first Ubers in San Francisco when I used to own that region. I remember getting in an Uber and the guy goes, I said, what's this? He goes, watch this. And he just gets on his phone and calls it up and it shows up. And I go, this is kind of cool. Now, here's the thing about real estate. All of those 5 I mentioned to you before, old-fashioned models, the same model, right? Bricks and mortar. Got to come into the office, right? Well, 2020, guys, I'm so excited because we're finally hitting 2020. 2020 is going to be our decade, guys. I mean, not just a little bit of a decade. Just imagine what we're going to do. So let me give you some stats of what's happened just the last 3 years. Oh, since Brent's been here, last almost 4 years. And this is really important to look at. The last 3 years, this is exciting. I just pulled this up today for the fun of it. In December 2017, Brent, our stock EXPI, which is EXP World Holdings, $7.70. $7.70. And that day we traded 40,000 shares of stock. Okay. And we had 6,500 agents. 3 years later, what are we going to end this year at? I'm here to expand. I don't know if you guys saw our founder, Glenn, did a short little video this morning to say hi to us. And he mentioned that we're over 34,000 agents, right? At the end of August. My prediction is, with our next guest and everything else that's going on, there's no doubt in my mind we'll go over 40,000 by the end of this year. I'm thinking more like 42. So how did we go in 3 years, Brent? 3 years. From 6,500 agents to 40,000. Man, dude. I mean, this is exciting. And of course, I know you guys never check the stock, do you? I know. I just check it all the time, right? What's it right now, Brent? What's the stock right now?
They have my phone. Throw me my phone.
$43.99.
All right. Let me see. Is it on your phone there?
Yeah, $44. $43.99.
Well, right there, baby.
So you think we've gone from $7.70 to $44? Are you kidding me? You and I didn't talk about this 3 years ago. We didn't. We just talked about, hey, let's do it. Let's grow. Let's get it. So what I'm excited about is, hey, you and I have talked about this. When I talk about making real estate fun again, 6 months ago, I thought Zoom was what my granddaughter did on her bike. I'm just being real with you, right? In other words, I had no idea what Zoom was, right? We didn't know. Now you've got a background. We've got all kinds of stuff. You look so good. I tell people now, Brent, we bought Verbella 2 years ago. We bought our platform. And everybody poo-pooed us when we bought it 2 years ago. Like, what are they doing? Why are they spending all that money? Guess what? 6 months from now, everybody in our business will be going, I wish I had a Verbella. They'll know what Verbella is. Just like I talked about Zoom, they'll be talking about Verbella.
Nice.
It's a game changer. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're doing in the cloud what every other real estate company wish they could. Right. Let me give you an example.
They say they're cloud-based, but it's emails and YouTube. We actually have places we can go and meet and gather besides just this. This is a great platform, but they actually house hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of staff and employees to support EXP. It's pretty cool. Conference room.
Well, what's really kind of exciting about it is, just so you guys know, I'm getting calls, Brent, you're getting calls from other brokers. I talked to a broker the other day that's had their brokerage firm for 25 years. Good, 350 agents. And they admitted to me, they go, Gene, this COVID thing, we haven't opened up our office in 6 months. They're in a different country, by the way. Not just, this isn't even in the US. And they looked at me and they went, we got to get on the technology side. What you guys have is what we need.
Yep.
And they realized because of COVID, their agents aren't coming back in. They've been gone for 6 months. Let's face it. And every single broker.
What's the saying? They call you irrelevant until they call you for advice.
Well, and it's true. And it's true. It's like, how are you guys doing this?
Yeah.
What's Verbella?
Yeah.
Is that like Zoom?
Yeah.
I go, no, we were before Zoom. I mean, this thing is, our staff is in there. They go, what? Guess what? They're signing up.
Oh, yeah. You go into the marketing department and there's employees. That's not a Zoom. You go into accounting and there's staff. You go into brokerage operations. You can talk to any broker in any state, any province of Canada, the world. They're there. They're at their desk. You can poke your head in the office, go, hey, you got a minute? And they go, sure. And you can click on this virtual seat. You're sitting in front of them. You're face to face. And if you wear glasses, your avatar has glasses. If you have a beard, your avatar can have a beard. You know, the one thing, if you're trying to get in shape like me, all avatars are in shape. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, you know, and here's the thing. And, you know, I bought in 5 years ago. I got news for you. I just went, I'm in. Do you know we have close to 5,000 agents in Texas with bricks and mortar?
Yeah.
Could you imagine, and you were with Remax once, you were with KW once, right? You and I both traveled the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if you went to Dave Liniger and said, I think I can get 34,000 agents in all 50 states with no bricks and mortar? No regional directors, no owners, no franchises. All that expense is gone. There's no international company. That's gone. He would go, how do I do it?
Exactly. We have a local brokerage here. They go, we now have 25 offices. Now we have 37 offices. And now we have 58 offices. They're bragging on their overhead. It's like, oh my gosh, because when the correction comes, it'll be like a ball and chain around the neck. And it's going to be devastating to them. I wouldn't be bragging on your overhead.
Well, we've changed the industry forever. Now, what we did, and I tell the story 5 years ago, well, 6 years ago when I met Glenn, the stock was 18 cents a share. I said, is this real? He goes, yeah. I said, so it's common shares. Yep, there's no preferred shares, common shares. We can all have shares. I said, Glenn, you've changed the industry because I know real estate agents. I've been with KW for 21 years. There's the amount of shares I had. Remax.
Yeah.
Right.
Same here.
So now I get calls like this morning. Just this morning, I had an agent. They said, well, Gene, I only have 60,000 shares. What? I said, you have 60,000 shares. Yeah, they've been with us for about 4.5 years. They go, yeah, but that's not very many. I said, do you understand it's $40 a share? You have $2.4 million worth of shares. They went, you know, they about, what? In other words, that agent who had never accumulated anything at anywhere else is now a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing.
We have another agent in Austin, right? And he was thinking about going back, and we said, have you looked at how much stock you have? And he's like, no, not really. I don't pay attention to that, because he's just selling real estate. He's not doing what you and I do, building a company. Like, you've won through the stock awards over $1 million worth of stock. And he's like, what? And so he decided to stay with EXP because I didn't know I had all that value. That was when the stock was $10 a share. Now he has 4 million. And that was literally just over the past, wow. I have another agent. All she did was sell real estate. Now she sells 70 homes a year. She's a little maniac. Luann, I love her. If she's watching, hey, Luann. And I won't give her last name for her safety, because now she has over $1 million worth of our stock. And she's enrolled a few agents, newbies. She's like a mother hen. She loves her newer agents and she helps them, but she hasn't really gone for what we're doing. and she has over $1 million for her retirement. Asked her, Luann, if you would stayed at your old brokerage, and I won't say the name out of respect, brokerage everybody knows has 2 initials, and if you had stayed there, what would you have today? 3.5 years later, she has trophies and plaques, and a ball cap, saying she's a capper. And I go, was this worth it? She goes, Brent, I'm so glad. I just came because it was you and I trusted you. I followed you. I really wasn't interested in EXP. I kept selling real estate here like I did there, but I have $1 million in stock. She's like, you have changed my life. She's like, it's pretty cool. And we have people with 100, 300, ex-team leader, Sean, won't say his last name, been here 16 months, $350,000 worth of our stock when you pull up. Pretty cool. Anyways, go ahead. You got me.
No. I think it's worth saying. The fact is, 3 years ago, let's go back, $7.70. I was excited at $7.70. See, most people weren't. I'm going, I was here when it was 18 cents. So I have perspective in the last 5 years, and I know most of the people on this have only been with us a couple of years. As you know, it was hard saying who EXP was 3-4 years ago, right? Every time, you know what's funny? I just had it, Brent, for the first time in about 2 years. He was a big time broker. He asked me what EXP stood for. And you know what I said? The fastest growing real estate company on earth.
That's good.
So
That's a great,
that's
we should
it.
put that in Wikipedia, right? Write that.
Yeah. The fastest growing real estate. And he just started laughing. He goes, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter what it stands for, does it? I said, it stands for unbelievable growth.
Yeah.
Never been done. And by the way, here's what I wanted to say. When I say making real estate fun again, guys, we're just starting. This is just the start.
Yep.
We're just hitting that little tiny tipping point where we're going to go straight up. So I want everybody that's listening today to not think, oh, you missed the boat. Not at all. Glenn, tell him, Brent, tell him how many, I should tell Glenn, you look like Glenn. How many agents are we shooting for? You tell him.
Oh, I firmly believe in the next 10 years, we'll have 1 million agents worldwide because we're the only company in the world making its agents owners through the stock awards and then sharing revenues because they're owners. And so if you get revenue, you're a shareholder because you're going to get stock from that first closing. And then the more you do, the more you get. The less you do, the less you get. Compensation for contribution, the more you contribute, the more you get. Totally fair. And it's amazing. But we'll be the first company to hit 1 million. And there's 208 countries, and best estimates put the agent broker population at 25 million. So 1 million is a drop in the bucket, baby. Look out. Here comes EXP.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. You got to strive for greatness, don't you? Why would you make a small goal? You got to strive for greatness. I got to laugh. I'm going to tell you this story because it was just this weekend. My son-in-law, Brian, and I went to McDonald's. I know nobody did this weekend, but I had a lot of family here for Labor Day. And I said, I'm going to go for lunch. And I made a big order. And it was close to $100 at McDonald's. It was all the dollar menu. I mean, I got so much food. And it's so funny. We go up to the guy that was at window number 1. And I said, we are just trying to set a record today. And he said, well, you've got to strive for greatness.
That's funny.
I mean, it was better than
McDonald's window. I love it.
Window number 1.
That is funny.
So guys, why not make the big goal? I don't care when we have 1 million. There's no timetable on it to me, right? There is no timetable on it to me.
You know what I believe, Gene? I believe we're going to hit 100,000 in the next 18 months. You know, maybe it takes us 2 years, 2.5 years, but I believe we'll do it in 18 months. We have so much momentum. And as we bring in mortgage and title and Verbella and home warranty and Matterport technology companies, not Matterport, and other companies like that, you know, Moving Hub and all these different things we're bringing on the different verticals, all owned by EXPI World Holdings. And your stock is not in EXP Realty, it's in EXPI World Holdings. As those companies prosper, we prosper. And when all those years at Remax, when the mortgage and title prospered because they had agreements, I didn't prosper, even though I was their number one agent. Same thing at my old company with 2 initials. I love them all, great companies, but I don't know. I like being a part of that rising tide rises all ships in the harbor, all agents. It's pretty cool. And it's so exciting. There's so much hope. There's so much help. And I call it the love boat, man. EXP is a love boat, man. We're loving people, speaking highly of all brokerages. Again, they're wonderful companies. There's nothing wrong with them. If that's what you want, this is a different model. If this is what you want, and we'll help you do it, right? You told me you'd help me, and you kept your word. I absolutely love you for that. I bought into your vision. I bought into Glenn Sanford's vision, and it is all coming to pass. And like you said, when we hit 100, oh, and I was going to say, our stock is at 43, almost 44 bucks a share with 34,000 of us. Wait till we have 100. I believe the 43 and some change stock we have right now is going to look like a fire sale in the future. I know we're not supposed to do future predictions, so I'll make the SEC happen and say past performance is no guarantee of future performance, and do your homework. And I'm not telling you when to buy EXP stock, but go ahead and win some awards. Let them give it to you for helping our company go. You don't have to buy it. And I just wow, it's going to be a big deal.
Well, it's a difference maker, right? We talk about the stock a lot because I always tell people during this pandemic, during COVID, we know that everybody ate chips and stuff. I mean, it was like chip heaven, right? And I said, if you owned Coca-Cola stock during the last 6 months, how much Pepsi did you buy?
None.
Zero.
Yeah. You'd be buying, right? Coca-Cola.
You bought Coca-Cola products. And a lot of people go, well, no, not really. I said, yes, you would, because you own it. We own EXPI together. It's the biggest difference maker. I told Glenn from the beginning, this is real. And by the way, Glenn invented that in 2013. A lot of people think he had it from the beginning. He didn't. He told me that he was thinking bigger. He says, Gene, I got to think bigger. He did a reverse merger on a corporation in Canada. And 2013 is when we had EXPI started, EXP World Holdings. And I told him, I said, that is the big thing for me, because I want agents to stay. I want to create wealth for agents. And all of them, as you know, won't attract agents. They won't get on the revenue share side, but that's okay. The ones that do, we have 3 buckets of income, right? Sales. We're going to help you sell all kinds of homes. Stock, more income, and revenue share. Pick a couple of them and just focus. And by the way, don't you think it's funny that a couple of years ago I was rereading a transcript from somebody said that we don't sell real estate? Isn't that the funniest thing? Remember when that was it? Oh, all they do is grow really big. And I'm going, have they seen real trends? Have they seen Stephen Murray's real trends or Stefan Swanepoel's report? I mean, we are selling real estate like crazy, even more than we're growing.
I did some calculations on my organization, and from my calculations this year, by the end of the year, we will close escrow on over 40,000 homes throughout the United States. Just not EXP, just my little thing, my little nothing thing that you helped me build. Over 40,000 closings. I mean, it's unbelievable the power of this. So I agree.
Now, let me ask you, how many leases did you sign?
None. Well, I have a 1-year lease here in Regis. This is my office. So I do have a one, and it's, I signed that lease at $950 a month. A lot of overhead there, right?
Yeah, no copiers, no furniture, because you're in Regis.
Well, they provide everything for me.
Right. So here's the thing. We've changed the way brokerages are run. You can't have this explosive growth with top agents without creating something totally different. That's what we've done.
Absolutely.
We've done it together.
Thank you for being on today. Any final, we got like 1 minute left, a minute and a half left. Any final word of wisdom, if someone's out there and they want to jump in and go, that's it, I'm joining EXP, or I'm in EXP and I need to launch. What word of advice, what's the one thing you think they could do maybe that would really help them grow this year?
here's my thing. I had a new agent just yesterday ask me, well, I'm just new. I don't know if I could attract anybody. I said, look, your enthusiasm for the business, just be you. You'd be surprised how many new agents attract people just from their excitement in the business. And here's the thing I will tell you. 5 years ago, I was at a convention of ours, and we had 38 people in the room 5 years ago and 3 months ago. And they asked me, and I told everybody, take a look around. Here's what I'm going to tell everybody right now on this call. Look at your environment. Look who's sitting next to you. Look at whatever. Get a feeling for this, because guys, I told them 5 years ago, we'll never be this small again, ever. Guess what? This is the beginning for EXP. So guess what, guys? Take a look around. We'll never be at 34,000 agents again. Get ready for the
Gene, I remember being a guest. I was a Keller Williams agent, ex-team leader. I was in San Antonio at the Westin, and you guys had a toast in your suite, and there were like 50 of us jammed in there with champagne glasses. I think we had sparkling wine or something, you know, and we all poured some little toast, and your whole business fit in your little suite. And today, you know, 27, 28, I don't know how many, you have tens of thousands of agents. But I was there for that vision that you said, we'll never be this small again. You were right, and I believe you today. So exciting. Thank you for being on today. And you are the legend. You are everything that our special announcer gave you, right? How'd you like that intro? Wasn't that great? The legend. The Godfather, I don't know what he said, but the Papa, whatever, Big Papa. He called you Big Papa. That guy, he did you right, and you're everything he said. We're so grateful to have you at EXP as one of the many of our greatest leaders. I believe you're one of the greatest the country we've ever seen. I'm grateful. Have a great day. Enjoy the lake house there. And
thank you, guys.
Tell Susan I said.
Okay.
Here she says hi. James says hi. Rob, got my whole staff here. We'll see you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Adios. Love you. Bye-bye. Okay, we're going to bring up our next speaker. And we have in the house, there she is. She's already up. Ooh, the technology behind me is good. They're on it. Tina Call. Now, Tina, thank you for being on. So not everybody knows you, but so tell everyone where you're from, how long you've been in real estate, you know, a little bit about your background prior to, and how long you've been at EXP. Let's start with a little bit of background on Tina Call.
Yeah. So again, Tina Call from Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been in Raleigh 10 years, but I grew up in Michigan. I've been in the industry for 20 years selling real estate full time.
It doesn't look like it.
Well, you know, real estate's been good to me, but I started at 22. I'm 42 this year, so I made it 20 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been, when I moved here 10 years ago, I started with RE/MAX, and I was there 8 years. I loved it. I joined Keller Williams for a couple of years, and then, you know, a friend of mine brought me EXP. I couldn't look away. And so in April of 2019, I joined EXP. So about 16 months ago.
Okay. So you've been at EXP for 16 months. You and I had the same journey, RE/MAX, then Keller, and EXP. I'm 24 years, you're 20 years. So we had very similar parallel stories. And I love my experience at RE/MAX, love my experience at Keller Williams. Grateful to both companies. If you're out there watching, we love you. And then we came to EXP. A lot of people know my story. So you got here just 16 short months ago.
Yes.
Tell us what your experience has been. Has it meant something to you? Has it been ho-hum? Just was it like RE/MAX and Keller, but now it's EXP? Or what's different and what has happened for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, people move brokerages for different reasons, right? So depending on their business at that point, I came to RE/MAX just because it was one of the bigger names in town. I was new in the area, didn't know a soul 10 years ago, so I joined, and it was great. They kind of leave you alone. They put you in the corner and say, go sell some homes.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I left, I was still happy, but I left because financially, I was at a crossroad. I had sold 130 homes personally that year, I know. And so I had no work-life balance. I was a workaholic, I know. And so when you're looking to grow income and you're one person with my husband and an assistant, you need leverage, right? So you need to grow a team. And so I needed to take the $80,000-$90,000 a year I was paying RE/MAX and then position myself to where I could hire an operations manager, more staff to help me scale. And so I went to Keller because it could cap me, and that made financial sense to me. So when I was there, I started to build the team, and we went from myself and 2 other buyer agents selling 170 homes to 10 agents. We're going to do 400 homes at 120 million at EXP this year. So we grew from Keller 72 million to 120 million. So the reason I came to EXP for me was I realized that as I was building this team, I truly wasn't gaining freedom. Financial freedom to me is more time, right? I knew how to make money. I knew how to make millions of dollars. So you can be rich by earning money, but you can be financially free by creating wealth, and wealth brings freedom. So I woke up one day and said, man, I'm just a really high paid employee of my business. That's it. I haven't built anything because my team is nothing without my production. And so I needed to learn how to create passive revenue streams. And so before I joined EXP, Brent, I probably never told you this, but I was actually going to buy a trailer park, and I was going to invest $250,000 and buy this park and create $15,000 a month in passive income.
Sounds
and I was going to,
right?
Right? I mean, it's not a sexy project, but it's very profitable. And so I was going to do that twice, and I was going to create $30,000 a month in revenue and do this and have financial freedom. Before I did that, though, a friend of mine said, hey, look at EXP, because you can become sort of like an owner and build your team and build EXP and create revenue streams that you never had access to before. And so, you know, I had been approached before for a couple times by different EXP agents that it just didn't resonate with me at the time. I wasn't ready. I wasn't open. Like you said, you got to find people that are open to the opportunity. But because I had pain points and I was open, and my key word was residual passive income, that resonated with me at the time. And so what I am surprised about, though, is you come for one thing, but you're so shocked by something else. And the something else I'm shocked about is that I'm able to download my brain into others, but they get to learn and grow. And we've created this community, this village of agents helping agents, helping agents, helping agents. Right? I mean, it truly is a village. And when they say, you know, to raise a family, it takes a village. It takes a village to run a brokerage. You can't let one BIC and one team leader and one person help 300 people.
Right.
So what I found is at EXP for us, the 14 people I brought over turned into 300 people in 16 months.
Wow.
But now all of us are helping one another. So it's not all on me. It's all of us financially aligned together. So that's probably the coolest part of the experience so far, is that I'm able to have that passion again of growth, which has been awesome.
I love it. And that is a beautiful story. I want to roll it back, though, to when you started EXP. Do you remember when you started? A, were you nervous at all? B, did people tell you you were crazy?
Yeah.
C, did you think, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to even sponsor anybody? I mean, what was I remember kind of feeling nervous, but I'm not going to shot. If I fail, I'll just go back to wherever I came from, RE/MAX or in my case, Keller. What were your thoughts? I want to hear a little bit about that.
For me, like, I've always been a little bit of a risk taker, because no risk, no reward, right? So my feeling was, it's $149. I was leaving Keller anyway to go independent. So this was my last stop before going independent. So I really, truly had nothing to lose, but my ego could be bruised, right? I could come to EXP, fail, not like it, change brands. Within 2 years, I went to Keller. Now I'm going to jump brands again. That goes through my mind. What are my
going to look like?
What's that going to look like? What are the customers going to think? What are my peers going to think? They're going to think I've lost my mind.
What did your customers think? Just on that note, did your customers care?
Well, what's funny, Brent, when we moved from RE/MAX to Keller, we called everybody, and they kept saying, well, where were you before? Well, is Call Group going to shut down? They were confused that we were leaving, Call Group. And so when we left Keller to go to EXP, we didn't tell a soul. And it was the easiest transition. We just changed the logo. They didn't care. Our business went up, right?
Well,
we went
the agents will notice, and some of them will say, "You're crazy. You've lost your mind."
The agents notice. And you know what's funny is when I moved to Keller, I got a lot of fun, exciting, things said to me. And then when I left, it was, you don't go, you're going to fail. It doesn't work. Recruiting is hard. They kept telling me recruiting is hard. You'll see. And I said, well, I'm not going to recruit. I'm going because I want the stock. I want the camaraderie, right? And people at EXP seem to be having fun. And what's funny is the first 2 top agents in the market called me within the first week of leaving. I mean, they basically said, well, one of them was Marty Hampton, who you know, and number 1 Remax agent in the world calls you and says, what are you doing? And tell me more, right? We need to talk, because she's a business person. She had been watching.
Remax?
No, she's at EXP now.
I know. I just had to ask you.
I know, right?
Just put a little bow on that one. So
right.
Now
but,
she's
now she's here. So what's funny is I didn't have to recruit. We're attracting people. You know, our vibe is attracting agents. They want to be part of the culture.
And 14 is not 440 or 1400. It's 14. You attracted some agents, and they attract. Now you have 300. But then you became 300. If 10 people in those 300 do what you did, you're going to have 3,000, right? You're going to
exactly. I mean, in those 14, my team, I attracted 56 people in total in 16 months. So 56 agents, right? Turned into 300. But the reality is we did it together. Those 56 helped grow. And each of them have these little teams. Each of them have these opportunities to grow.
People here, they said, well, if you go to EXP, it might affect your sales. It might affect your sales. So let's talk about that. I think you mentioned it real quickly. Yeah. Your sales, and they say it might affect your sales. They mean that in a bad way. But they mean it in a bad way. They'll be, it might affect your sales. Like, are you crazy? Yeah. You'll see, you'll be so distracted. You need to stay in your lane. You know, it's like someone telling you you're a buyer's agent. Don't you dare become a listing agent. Stay in your lane. You're a buyer's agent. And then when you go to listing agent, you're like, oh, God, this is so much better. I can have a life. I'm not run all over town. You know, I can control. I got leverage. You got to list the last. And then it's like someone saying, well, you can't do that. Stay in your lane. Just sit there and lay eggs, you know, and make sales. So you mentioned you were at X number of sales at Keller Williams, and then what happened? Say that again.
We were in the 72 or 78 million total. And in the 16 months we've been at EXP, we will be close to 120 million this year.
It affected your sales.
Let's be honest. It did affect it. It affected it in a positive way.
Yeah, but it is nervous when people that you respect look at you and go, this is going to affect your sales, and it's not going to be good. They said the same thing to me, and here's what happened. 9 months after joining EXP, I smashed all my sales records I ever set at Remax and at Keller Williams. I broke them all. I had my most profitable months ever at a company nobody's ever heard of.
Right.
What were the consumer thinking? They don't care. They buy you. Yeah. If you think they're buying Berkshire Hathaway or Century 21 or Remax or Keller, you are obviously don't have a lot of experience in real estate. It's you, baby. You are the package.
Yeah, and I think there's this collective consciousness of excitement, right? We all come into this with a renewed energy of opportunity. You have new opportunities set forth in your path, and you go, okay, well, now I can attract agents and align with them and grow this thing. Now I don't get glass trophies anymore. I get stock. I mean, just the 2 icon awards, because I icon within a month. So if you're an agent out there and you sell in my market about 30 homes, the 2 awards I got made me $120,000 of stock in my account that's sitting there. Now I actually used 5% of each commission check and bought stock at a discount, and I have 13,000 shares of stock, which is today worth $540,000.
That's $1 million.
It's $500,000 in stock plus, I mean, it's 600,000-700,000. That doesn't include.
If you had stayed at your old brokerage, without saying
Yeah.
the name of the old brokerage, I might have mentioned it back, but
Yeah.
if you stayed at your old company, 16 months went by, what would you have if you had stayed there? You'd have plaques and trophies, right? Yep.
Well, I had a stack of, they didn't even give you glass anymore. Every month you got a piece of paper, you know,
Yeah.
and I threw it in the, I mean, not to fuse what it was. I mean, I was proud of it, but it was just kind of like, here's another one. Here's
It doesn't
another.
pay the bills.
It doesn't pay the bills. And so there was nowhere else to go. And I think here's the biggest thing for people like me that are driven. I was at Remax, I was the #1 agent. At Keller Williams, I was the #1 agent. At EXP, now I'm attracting top agents. So Marty's probably going to kick my butt this year. So I got to be on my best game. But most agents like me say, what's next? What's next for us? We need a what's next. And so this gives us the new challenge of how big can I grow this, right? How can I go to 50 states? Can I go international? That's what we want as driven entrepreneurs. What's next? And nobody could answer that for me.
I can. I had 3. James, remember when we had Honey? James, Kathy, remember when we had 300 agents?
I'm not your honey.
Now I'm talking, Honey's over there. That's my wife to my right. James is over here. I do not call James Honey ever. I'm like, hey, you dude or bro. But
That's right.
you remember when we had 300 agents?
Absolutely.
And then today, are we in all 50 states?
All 50.
Every province of Canada?
Every province
That's open.
yeah.
That's open for EXP.
Right.
Australia, the UK, and we're about to go and see. It's crazy what
It's going to happen. And it's going to happen for me. And I tell people, they're like, well, look at Brent. And look, Brent's got time on us. He's got 3 years. You got 3 more years than I have. Call me in 3 years and we will be in all 50
And
states.
I have movie star good looks. I know.
Yes,
not
you do.
everyone's
You
got
do.
the face and body.
You're so handsome, and that's why you
recruit it anyway.
Yeah. It's just your handsomeness. That's what recruits
Yes,
all these.
my animal magnetism.
That's right.
It's too funny. I wrote this down though. I had 15 agents on my team at Keller, and I paid $27,000 a year. They paid half caps, which you think half of 27 would be 13.5. Somehow a half cap was 18,000. So if you multiply 15 times 18,000, I was paying $270,000 a year to Keller Williams, plus my 27. You add, let me see, you add that in here, and boom, 297,000 a year is what I was paying to operate my team. I was there 8 years. I never got the 27,000 back I paid in.
Yeah.
Every year, the 16,000 cap, which is less, giving me more money for marketing. 16, I get back in the Icon Award, and then that award double, triple, quadruple, all that. They go, well, yeah, but that was then. Now the stock's at 40. I go, you guys, in 5 years, 43 shares are going to sound like a fire sale. It is so exciting.
I agree. It's very exciting. And, you know, when you think about the tech companies, the true tech companies, Amazon and Uber and Netflix and Airbnb doesn't own real estate. I mean, we are right there with the giants. It's just the next phase of real estate. I love this when Michael Valdez talks about during COVID, we literally didn't get on a plane and we expanded to 5 countries from our laptops. Like, if that's not scalability, if that's not excitement, that's crazy. It's crazy. So
I was by my pool, the waterfall out in California, the palm trees, and I'm on my laptop and it's just booming. It's so exciting. And when I was at my old brokerages, we'd all meet each other and help each other. But I go back to my room, and then Tom Daves, who was the #1 Keller Williams agent 7 times.
Yeah.
And he kept saying 6 times, and they sent him a letter saying, if you better stop saying 6 times, we'll sue you. We'll see you in court. And he went and found all his trophies that said #1 worldwide. It was actually 7 times. And he sent pictures of all the trophies. He says, well, if I wasn't, it's your error. And he never heard back from him. They didn't say boo. But he was #1 in the world 7 times in the next 17 years. When Tom did all that, what did it mean to my family financially? Didn't mean boo. And so your company now, and agents excel in New York and Florida,
it's exciting.
And Ontario and British Columbia, Canada, and Alaska. EXPI thrives, and if they thrive, my stock, your stock, our words, we thrive. So it means something if someone sells 500 homes a year in San Diego or South Dakota. One team, one dream. It's the EXP love boat. I love it. Okay, so I want to transition on you a little bit.
Yes.
We were talking earlier this week, and of course, people see you. Well, yeah, she's super successful, and Brent had a team, and he did well. But could somebody new do this? Well, you were telling me about Jennifer, and I don't want to say her last name wrong. How do I say her last name?
Cervera.
Severa?
Cervera, yeah, Jennifer
Severa. I
Cervera.
got it right. Jennifer Severa. James wrote on a piece of paper, and the R looked like a C, so I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
Jennifer Severa. Oh, she's here. She's here. Coincidentally. Wow, what a coincidentally. She happens to be on here. Now, Jennifer is, I think, newer to real estate than we are. So, Jennifer, welcome. Yeah. How do we get her to be the big gallery picture right now? Right now, do we hit gallery or leave it like this for recording? Okay. So, Jennifer, for recording this, we can't, but welcome. Good to have you here.
Yep. Good to be here.
Yes. Oh, there you are. Now I can see you. You shifted. You were a little tiny square on my computer. Shows you how techie I am. I don't even know how to.
I know, you're so techie.
Sounds like us.
I'll let Tina introduce you. Tina, tell us about who Jennifer is and what she's done and and then Jennifer, we want to hear from you, but first kind of explain who she is and what she's about.
Yeah, so I met Jennifer about 10, 11 months ago. She was a newer agent. She had been on her own for a year, and she was kind of looking, I think what intrigued her was mentorship, to come. She always says success leaves clues. So if I could work alongside you, Tina Call, that would be great. And so she joined my team, and she didn't have one aspiration of recruiting or anything. She wanted to learn how to sell real estate in a high volume. And what was interesting is within that 10 months that she's been here, she has been attracting agents. And when you think about Jennifer, she's a couple years in the business. She attracted, I think, 7 agents that now has turned into a team of 35. She's buying her first home, which is going to be, she could afford probably $1 million house today, and EXP would pay for it monthly.
Thank you, Rev Share.
That is cool.
On her rev share. So I just am so proud of her because now she has skipped the trajectory of, okay, Brent, you and I are 20 years in the business. We can go open up a RE/MAX now and be owners. She's an owner today. That was the next step. Yeah. So her trajectory goes from agent to owner to shareholder to immediately wealth building. I love that. I love that.
So Jennifer, how old are you? You look very young to me.
Well, thank you for that, Brent.
Because you look so young, I'm going to ask.
I'm 32.
32. You look like you're 26.
33 here soon.
You look like you're 26.
Well, thank you for that.
And I know Tina said, but I was distracted by something about how long have you been in real estate?
2 years. This is
2
my
years.
second year. Starting in 2018. So this will be my second year.
You're doing so good. So how do you were at the old company and now you made the switch to EXP with Tina, right?
Right. So it's interesting how things, kind of play along, Brent. I feel like when you put out your intentions in the world and when you are laser focused on it and, what you focus on expands, right? So it's kind of interesting because Tina and I were at the same previous brokerage. We didn't know each other then, though. And I remember I went to the big annual award ceremony for my previous brokerage, and I saw her name, and Tina called, and she made 80 million in volume, and just so well known here. And so many things. And, when you are someone with drive and with aspirations and being so new in the business, right? Just 1 year, I was like, well, if I can just get to know her and learn her secrets and, let her know how I can get so good as to what she's doing now, that would be the world. Well, as the world would have it, and when you want something, the universe conspires for it, right? We'll know that. So fast forward 3 months, later, and I met Tina Call, and she was in the process of transitioning to EXP. I'm not sure. I think that she had already made the decision. It wasn't quite announced yet, but we had a meeting, and she said, this is what I'm shooting for. This is what's coming next for me. And the reason for is because I feel like, even if it's someone as new as me or someone that has been 10 years in the business or 20 years in the business, I feel like for the most part, you all start experiencing the same pain points as she just said. And so what she showed me the video, I remember the EXP Explain video, and she said, what do you think of this? And I said, well, gosh, I don't know if this is because I'm so new to it, but this looks awesome. This looks like I want to be part of it, to be able to have, exactly, to be able to have the opportunity of, coming to with this new model, and it's what's, here to stay, and we continue to see how it grows year over year. And I can only, wait to imagine what, it's going to be here for us. When I saw it, and I was like, I believe in the business. So first and foremost, when I saw the business model, I loved it. I thought that it was a great opportunity for me to tag along and make that dream of mine a reality, to be able to be in business with her. So then my next thing was, do I want to be on a team, or do I want to be an independent agent? My thing was like, I had done my fair share on the buy side, and I wanted to learn how to list homes and sell with good systems and a good volume, right? So that I decided that I wanted to join the team, but this time joining a team had a different feeling for the following reason. Before, I always thought that if I join a team, well, I don't want to strain that relationship when the time comes, if I ever want to leave, right? Because my mentor poured everything into me, and now I'm going to feel terrible leaving and knowing that she's going to have to start all over again. Well, with EXP, it was different, because I understood that even if the time ever came and I was going to transition, because we were financially aligned, that was always going to be there and to stay. So from there on, I joined EXP, on Tina's team, and I loved it so much. I remember we went to the EXP conference in Vegas, and when I saw you and when I saw everyone else talk, my financial cap just raised once again, and it exploded. So when I came back, I said, well, maybe if they've been doing it, maybe I can do it. Maybe this is an opportunity that's there for me too.
Not
and
just
so
for
what
the
I
big
did,
guys, right?
exactly, your eyes open real big. Exactly. So what I did was I started talking to the people that I knew from my previous brokerage, and just from I feel like to be able to be good in sales, you have to be a good connector. You have to be able to just have a conversation with people and come from taking a genuine interest in them. And that's all it is. And so, gratefully enough, I have done that in the past, that when I transitioned and I started having these conversations, 5 people raised their hand, and then 2 other more people raised their hand. And I understood that it was because it wasn't what was in it for me. It was about, them having the opportunity of grow, and them having the opportunity to collaborate and to join forces with the bigger teams in our area, the Tina Coles, the Sharon Evans, the Marty Hamptons. And I still pinch myself, Brent, to be completely honest, of how grateful I am. 2 years in the business, and I'm learning from the very best. And so I think that if you are able to understand that, and if you're looking for the people that are looking for you, because I always say, I do not recruit. I attract people. I want to be in business with people that want to be in business with me. And, and the interesting thing is that here I am, just 2 years in the business, but I'm attracting $30 million producers, $40 million producers that I have, obviously doing more than I'm doing. But it's about that, it's about creating those connections, that collaboration that EXP has, that, I just don't see any other brokerage that has it. And that's just, what I see out there.
You're authentic, you're real, you're excited, you're coming from the heart. It's what's in it for them, not me. As a byproduct, there's some beautiful things in it from you. And that's the ultimate win-win. Now, here's the funny, 80% of success is people's psychology. Yeah. We have you on here as somebody new who's doing well, attracting 30 and $40 million producers and all that. People right now going, yeah, she's got this cool accent. I love it, right? Like, I don't have a cool Australian accent or English accent or this, like, you have a beautiful accent. They're going, that's why you're always trying to tell yourself why you can't do something. I love the old Henry Ford quote. He says, if you think you can, you probably can.
Mhm.
And if you think you
Mhm.
can't, you're probably right. And so we're always kind of, so just this is the next. Welcome to the next. And we are so thrilled. Take a chance on us. Take a chance on you. The capital investment's pretty heavy, $149, but you'll survive.
Exactly.
And it's so cool. So final question, because we have to switch to Michael Valdez, who
Sure,
is a vice president of international growth. He is the man. We are so lucky to have him. You're all about to meet him. He's going to talk about South Africa. He's going to talk about Mexico and these other countries we're going into this year, and kind of how to do it right, how to do it wrong, so you don't do it that way. And so we're about to have him on, but just final question. I'm going to start with Tina. Tina, you were at Remax, you're at Keller, now you're at EXP. Is it just, Keller, Remax, Keller, EXP, Coldwell Banker? Is it just like what's the difference? Is there a tangible difference without any putting, and we love Keller Williams and Remax. But what is the honest difference you feel? You got like 30 seconds. How can you encapsulate that?
So I always say there's 5 pillars. You've got leads, training, rev share, stock, and healthcare. So every other brokerage is going to promise leads and training, but guess what? You're missing these 3. So as an entrepreneur, you got to keep adding opportunity to your business.
I like it. Don't be a man or a woman on stilts. They always look like they're going to fall over. So have the 5. That's beautiful.
5
Jennifer,
pillars.
how about you? What's the difference? Is there a difference? Is it the same? Is there really? It's okay if there's not. Tell us.
Absolutely not. It's being able to learn from the people that have done it and have gone before you. It's being able to have that, that playbook open, and being able to have that collaboration that, I don't think that exists at any other brokerage. And so as you can tell, I'm very passionate about what, our firm and what our brokerage has to have. Yeah. There isn't another brokerage as EXP. That's and cool. I mean that whether you're a year, 5 years, or 20 years in this business.
I love it. And people say, well, I could do that at any company. But here's the deal. I'm going to fight for you, Jennifer, and this is the first time I've ever met you. I'm going to help you do well, because if you do well, Tina does well. And if Tina does well, Michelle does, right? Right? The whole team, instead of just, if we were in a franchise, the OP does well, and then the owner of the region does well, and the regional manager does well, and then Dave Liniger and all that, and Gary Keller and Realogy and Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett. I think he's okay.
Yeah,
so this is for us. Built for us. Welcome to the next. You guys were great guests. Tina, Jennifer, thank you very much. And we'll see you guys in Cabo San Lucas in February.
Yes. That'll be fun.
In person. I'll see you there. Love you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so next, and so we're going to transition. Let's go ahead and bring up our next speaker. We have Michael Valdez. He is the Vice President of International for EXP Worldwide. He is the man. Now, he actually does have movie star good looks. Look at him. He can definitely be in a movie. And so, Michael, I am so thrilled to have you here. Welcome.
Brent, it is so great to be here with you and to have this conversation. It was great.
Okay.
It was great to hear a little bit about Tina and Jennifer before. It was just fantastic. So this is exciting. You look well, brother.
Hey, man, I just lost 25 pounds. So Mr. Gove is drinking his water and being good. So being really good. Okay, so let's talk. So we got countries we're going into. Now, before we talk about the fact that we're going into South Africa, that we're going into Mexico, that we're going into France, Portugal, India, and possibly Brazil this year, a little sleeper Seabiscuit around the corner of the Kentucky Derby there. Before we get into that, not everybody knows you. Tell us a little bit about Michael Valdez. Who are you? What did you do before EXP? Are you just some guy we found with really good looks and bright white teeth and this and wears a hanky in his pocket? Who are you? Tell us who Michael Valdez is. Give us the overview. You like that?
That's pretty much it. That's who I am. So I actually, I came from Realogy. You were just mentioning Realogy. And so I was the senior vice president of Realogy for 15 years for international. And so for those that don't know Realogy, because it's not a consumer facing brand, they own Sotheby's, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, ERA, Better Homes and Garden, and Corcoran. And so collectively with all those brands, it was 113 countries and roughly about 300,000 agents overall for Realogy. And so, and before that, I was actually director of private banking at Deutsche Bank for 10 years. So I came from the finance side and then went into real estate and then found the light, brother. And and then I had a great meeting with Glenn and Jason Gessing and Jeff Whiteside, and we had been talking off and on for a good 6 months, and I was talking to a lot of other competitors as well, and and really, quite honestly, didn't know enough about the EXP story, and it wasn't really in my radar. And we sat down, and the more I learned about it, there was no other choice. And
Wow.
I just wish I would have done it a lot sooner. And
Wow,
so
wow.
sitting here, knowing what that business model is, and it's just extraordinary.
Love it. And who gives you the best introductions? I want to know.
Oh my God, I gotta tell you, but it's all good. But listen, I've got to get you on the road with me, because if you think that our lovely guest you just had, Jennifer, had an Australian accent, you got to get on a road more, brother.
No. I did not.
She's Latino. She's like sister here.
No. You heard me wrong. I'm saying people they're thinking, well, I don't have a cool accent. I'm not English, Australian, Costa Rican, all that. So, yeah. Well, so what accent do you think Jennifer had? What would you say?
She's Latina.
Latina. There you go.
There it is.
So
she's got Cervera. There it is.
She's a beautiful soul. There's a real chance I'm moving to Puerto Rico this year, so I'm brushing up my Spanish.
As is Tina. I was so impressed to hear Tina speak, and really, and the shout out that she gave me. But it was such a true statement where we're opening 5 countries, and I haven't been on a plane in 6 months.
Wow.
And I used to, well, I'm in Los Angeles now, so it's a bit of a fib, but but I wasn't in, for business, I hadn't been on a plane, and I averaged 200 days a year and 250,000 miles a year when I was traveling with Realogy over all the 6 brands. So to think that we are opening 5 countries without having to jump on a plane on a business aspect to meet with anyone, it's extraordinary.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the extraordinary next company. I love it.
It totally is.
You guys have no idea. I'm beyond. He is the right guy to take us worldwide, and I'm thrilled you're here. I'm pumped. I'm not kind of excited about you. You are the guy, and we're excited. So let's talk about, let's switch gears.
Yeah.
We got about 10 minutes here, 15 minutes. Tell them about, what countries we're going into next, and what to do and what not to do. Everyone's like, well, how do I do it? How do I talk to someone in South Africa or Mexico? Or, what if I have someone in Thailand or the Philippines, which is not on the radar for this year?
Right.
So let's first talk about the countries we are going into, what to do and what not to do. Is that fair?
Let's take a step back even a little bit further. So it's the idea of really looking at all of the incredible growth that EXP has done domestically, right? The fastest growing real estate company in America, the explosive growth, the transactional growth, everything that story is. It is now so much more important that anything that we do from this point on, it builds on that story, right? And so now we're building a global story. Now we're making sure that we're taking all of those successes and really getting into that on a global scale. So where we actually end up has to be strategic to continue to build that story. So, it is more important, for example, for us to fill in Central Europe, to really have that as a footprint for our growth. before we go into some of the other countries in Europe, which are beautiful. And, you know, we start thinking about the Czech Republic and Hungary and Romania. And I've had a few calls on all of those. We can't open that first before we open up Central Europe, because it helps build the story, right? And so when we start looking at Latin America, when we start looking at where should we be, we have to be in places that are in Mexico. Portugal is actually one of the fastest growing real estate industries in the world. And it actually was one of the most successful countries for all of the brands of Realogy. So it was really amazing to really have that. They have a golden visa, they have a 10-year tax abatement. There's a lot of reasons to be in Portugal. And then we have, of course, France. And France was actually the #2 country for all of the brands at Realogy to sort of be there. And right there in France, it's exciting because there's 8 different companies that have copied various things of the EXP model. So it's not as though we have to explain the process. Everyone knows the process already. And so our greatest competitor is a local brand in France that has over 10,000 agents. Mm. So we are going to come in and poach the hell out of them because we've got a much better model. And so then we've got India, and with 1.3 billion people in India and 1 million estate agents, it's going to be a very, very great ride for us. And so those are the countries that were selected really, really very strategically as to where we wanted to be. And so what we're working on with the pipeline behind it is there's some good stuff there as well. But with the 5 countries that we did announce, that's where our singular focus is. We're building technology for this. We've got a great third-party vendor. We actually had a dry run on the South Africa website this morning. We're getting really, really close with what is going to be the consumer-facing website on all of this. It's exciting. It's exciting to have all of the steps built, and the story is great. You know, I got to tell you, there was one of the very top agencies. This is brokerages. This is somebody that has more than 2,000 agents, calls me last weekend and says, I think it's time we talk. I'm like, sure thing. And so this is one of the calls that I was waiting on. And so we had a conversation, right? And so I didn't call them, they called us. And it's like, we understand you're coming to South Africa. We understand you're going to take agents away from us. We want to know if we can just work together. Huh. And so that's it's a place of power that you go into at that point. Beautiful. And so that's what we want to maintain.
I love it. So here's something, just a point I want to make. You hear about, oh my gosh, they're in France. You got this big company with 10,000 agents. What you guys got to understand is it's owned by one person or one family who's already made millions.
That's right.
And so I remember when I left RE/MAX and went to Keller Williams, and all my RE/MAX friends were following me, I felt guilty. Finally, the regional manager sat me down and she said, stop feeling guilty. If this is better for their family, their kids, right, then that RE/MAX will be fine. They're a multi-billion-dollar. Dave Lineker's a billionaire. He's gonna be okay. You need to quit feeling bad that you're beating up on RE/MAX. If this model, Keller Williams, is better than for them to be at RE/MAX at Keller, don't you apologize. You're helping family. You're helping their children. I go, that's right. He's right. And now with that concept, as we go worldwide, if the model is better, like how many of you are glad we don't have to drive down to Blockbuster at 7 o'clock on a snowy night to get a movie, risk your life and limb to have a movie night. Now you just point and click and you go there, you get your blankets, get the fire on. Or would you rather be in a yellow cab over an Uber or a Lyft, right? And so Amazon, right? Or do you want to just run down and you just, there it is, it's delivered. It's called progress, and we're changing lives. And funny thing, and I'll let you go on, but when Henry Ford invented the Model T, there were 700,000 horse and buggy drivers throughout the U.S. And I could imagine like that thing scares the horses, and then of course the automobile changed the world, and so it's all coming. It's all coming. Okay, so where do you want to go from here? You want to talk about South Africa and Mexico? Where do you want to go?
I'll follow you. What do we want to talk about?
Let's talk about South Africa. So I have some questions for you.
Sure.
When do you anticipate actually opening in South Africa? A week, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months? I don't know. Let's give us some sort of a time frame. I think they're first, followed by Mexico. Is that correct? And so I'd love to get some feel. I know it's a moving target.
Right. And so it's a moving target because there's a lot of things that are out of our control, Brent, as you know. So we set up a legal corporation in every country that we're in. And so sometimes we've got, some pushbacks on some challenges. We had some pushbacks on our corporation name in Mexico, and we went, and then their offices were closed during COVID. They've just reopened. And so there's a lot of moving targets that are out of our control completely. And so, so we do have a full intent of having South Africa as our next country. We do anticipate that will be certainly the next one. It's imminent, is what I'll say. It's I just don't want to give a timeline that I don't, because it's not in my control, and I'm just a man of my word, as you know. And so I don't want to do a timeline. I will tell you that all 5 countries will be open before the end of this calendar year, because that's what we've announced. That's my truth, and that's what we are going to do.
I love it. I love it. Okay, and then how about this? What's the right way if someone has people in South Africa or say Mexico? Because I think those are the next 2 countries. Is that fair to say?
So, it could be that something gets moved faster than Mexico is. It's sort of like, I'm ready. There are things that are out of my control. And so if that's out of my control, I won't sort of like just be hard about the methodology of the order it needs to go into. It could be that something circumvents Mexico, because it's just all of the other components are done faster, and so we'll just do it. So the order matters less to us, but in my mind, I would like it to be Mexico, but I'm working on all of them simultaneously. So it's a horse race.
I totally get it. I have a couple corporations right now. I'm opening a 3rd in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And by the time you get Title 20, Title 22, it's an 8-month process. My friends who live in Puerto Rico, Sheila Fairgeron said, things are different here. A project you would expect to get done in a week or 2 could take 3 months here. As much as we want to be, go, push, type A drivers, it doesn't always work like that.
Nobody more type A than me. It's just sort of like, I just like keep going. And so so it's like, so trust me, it's moving.
I love it. So what's the wrong thing to do with South Africa, Mexico, France, Portugal, India? What's the wrong thing to do right now? Let's talk about that.
I'm so glad you asked that question. And listen, we've got 33,000 of the best ambassadors of this brand running around. And I appreciate that everyone has the same passion to really extend this family that we're talking about, because it is a family. And so I actually love and embrace that, because everyone has welcomed me so warmly from the very first day. And it's something that really is so special to me. And I'm so appreciative of that. And I understand that that's the passion that everyone is going with. And everyone wants to just give everyone correct information. The problem is we just don't have that information yet. So we're building the model, and the model will differ. So when people go on and are trying to attract people in these 5 countries that we've spoken about, I will please ask you not to, because what's happening is that people are expressing the US model. And I can tell you that it will absolutely not be the US model. I'll repeat that. It will not be the US model. there are a lot of things that a lot of the third-party vendors we use in the US have no capability outside of the US. So it is not anything that we can use. You know, the things like health insurance will absolutely not be available outside of the United States. And we cannot say that it will be and then disappoint. It will absolutely not be available in the outside of the United States.
Love it.
So there are things that we have to just be very careful about. We just need to just talk about the concept of EXP as a concept. Even the 80-20 split will probably not be the same in some countries. It is not the same now outside of the United States. So it is not an 80-20 split in the 3 countries we're currently in. So there are things that will absolutely vary. I haven't built those variables yet because we build those variables based on competitive information, based on the fact that we want to be able to come in and be the most competitive brand out there. We also need to figure out what our deliverables will be. And there is a cost associated with each one of those deliverables that need to be bespoke for each one of the countries that we're in. So, and it's the idea that we are doing this all simultaneously for 5 different countries. We are almost done with the South Africa model. The moment that we will share that with everyone so that everyone has the correct script and information. We're very far along with Portugal and France as the next models that we're building. We're just getting on to the final aspects of those. We will share that with everyone once that is done. And so those 3 will be out and running. Mexico is a very complicated country. And so we are trying to figure out the best methodology to come in and the best model for that. We're getting very creative in some methodologies of doing that. I've opened 4 brands in Mexico, so I know how to do it. And it's just the idea that we want to make sure that this is the best model for the country in order for us to grow exponentially with Mexico. And then India, the same thing. So every model will be different.
Beautiful. So if I heard you right, and I'll just clarity for everybody, when we go to into these countries, say you're going to have healthcare, you're going to have KV Core, you're going to have SkySlope. They may not have any of that.
You will not have any of that.
The concept of EXP, the concept is going to be similar, right? Where you can tell agents to become the sponsor, and they can tell people, 100%. And there'll be revenue sharing in those countries.
Yes.
And, don't know what the stock award thing looks like, and we don't know caps. Like it's 16,000 in the U.S. We don't know what the cap will be in their country. What's competitive in their country?
That is correct.
And splits. So these are the variables. But when you talk to them in terms of the concept. If you like this kind of a concept, baby, look out. Is that a fair way to put it, Michael?
That's 100% accurate, Brent. That's exactly what it is. Speaking from the macro, speaking from the concept of what this is, there's going to be a revenue share for sure. There's going to be stock participation for sure. Everything that and it's going to be very competitive as far as the splits and the caps in every country that we're in.
Beautiful.
You know, listen, I sat with Glenn the other day and we were going through the Portugal model, and I told him what our competitors were doing. And he sort of says, nope, let's cut that further. And so we're working through those numbers now. We're getting really competitive in every market that we're in. It's going to be really exciting once we share everything with everyone. And we're on the final stages of 3 countries.
I love it. So final question, we're then transition here. Say someone's watching this and they go, my grandfather owns a company in India or Portugal, or my best friend runs a real estate company in France, you know, or I'm from South Africa and I have this superstar agent. How do I get them in touch with Michael Valdez? What do I do in the time being? What's my outlet? Where do I go to connect my person that I want to sponsor in one of these countries? What do I do? And of course, if they're an agent doing a little bit of production, but if it's a big star, so there's two things. There's someone doing $1 million, $2, $3 million a year, and then there's people who own companies with 50, 100, 2, 3, 4, 500, 2,000 agents. I'd imagine those big connections get somehow connected to you through workplace chat.
You got it.
What's the outlet?
So and thank you for that question, Brent. And I think that we have set up a global website, which is expglobal.net. So expglobal.net. That will allow anyone to come in and pre-register anyone who's interested in any of those 5 countries. We then, that becomes a CRM system for us. It also, that same website allows somebody who is interested in anything and any countries that are outside of those 5 countries that we announced. So that's a different link, but it's on the same site. And that will allow us to know where the interest is for any other countries we might be looking at. I have over 20 countries in a pipeline for next year that will give us a very robust pipeline next year. Next year, I have a very aggressive goal, which I'm not going to share just yet. And so it is, it's something that's going to be really very exciting for us. Now, if there is an opportunity where there is a brokerage of, you know, a couple of 100 agents or more, then yes, that is something that I'd like to have a conversation with. It's a different conversation to have. So the larger brokerages are needing to be dealt with a little bit differently, because it's almost as though it's a business coming over to another platform. And so we need to make them understand that more from a financial point of view. If the brokerage is large enough, we'll run financial analytics for them. So it's a different conversation to have, which I'm happy to have with them if the opportunity is the correct one.
Right.
And that's what we've been doing a lot for right now.
So if somebody's in Japan or Thailand or Bangkok or the Philippines or China, and they have this amazing relationship with like their best friend from college who has this amazing 900 agent or 1900 agent company or 10,000, and they're like, we really want to look at EXP, they should just connect them to you.
Yes. Yeah, and then, you know, I'll have somebody on my team jump into the first call, and all of those countries you just rattled out would have different answers as well.
Right.
So I'm happy to sort of give somebody. Go ahead.
Just because you connect them to Michael does not mean you'll be the sponsor. Michael's not going to take them. He'll do his best. Ultimately, they get to pick their sponsor. Just because you go and connect them to Michael, don't think it's over, it's done, I'm the sponsor. You're not the sponsor until they type your name in. Is that correct, Michael? I just don't want.
100% correct, and it's also the fact that Michael is not the first call; he's the last call. So yeah. It's somebody that needs to know that they are already. They know the EXP model. They're excited about the EXP model. This is not someone. Here's a friend of mine that has 900 agents. Tell them all about EXP.
Yeah,
I would love to. I just don't have the time to.
Beautiful. Thank you for saying that. He's the last call. Let myself, let Gene Frederick, let Donna and Allison Gaddy, Scott Lewis, you know, Tracy, Dave Gagnon, whoever you're, Jane Ashley Nelson, there's Pat Hayes. Let us get in there. We can talk to them about concepts and what's like, man, we are really interested. We're like, we think we're all in. Then it goes, is that a fair way to put it? Okay.
100% fair. Yep.
Got it. Okay, we have like 1 minute left, and then I got to wrap this up with 5 minutes of mind-blowing information. My talk's cut down from 20 to 5. I'll make it work. Anything you want to say to everyone as we wrap this up? Any encouragement to the agents?
Listen, I will say that right now we are at 33,000 plus agents, right? And so with all the conversations that we're having, I can tell you this. In South Africa, with everything that we're working on right now, we'll either be the #1 or the #2 agency coming in before we even open doors. And so just think about that. It will be the idea that we are going to be the disruptor in this industry on a global scale. Everyone talks about some other brands being disruptors. This is the only true disruptor that exists in the industry. And if anyone actually needs some proof, just look at what the stock has done in the last 100 days. when we started announcing all of our announcements, when we announced, Mike coming over, Courtney coming over, Kent Chang as our global controller, when we start thinking about the acquisition of Showcase IDX, when we start thinking about the 5 countries that we've announced, when we start thinking about the most profitable quarter in the company's 10-year history, when we started going by everything, this is a story that is being built. This is a story that is going to be the most amazing story of our industry, mark my words, on a global scale.
I love it. I was just looking around my desk, see if my sunglasses are on, because the future's looking pretty bright. I was going to put them on. I am so stoked. Everybody is, man. One team, one dream. Thank you, Michael Valdez, for being on today. We love you. You're a great guest, and we are so grateful you're at EXP.
I'm grateful to be here with all of you. Thank you for all you've done beforehand. And thank you for this platform. Take care. Bye-bye now.
See ya. Okay, so today I'm going to wrap it up with some important information. I'm going to go fast, take notes, write this down. Business planning clinics are coming up the 3rd week in November nationwide. They're going to be in almost every major city in America, and they're going to be led by Pat Hayes and Scott Lewis and Gene Frederick and all the leaders, because you guys are going to set them up. I'm setting them up here in Sacramento. And so you think, well, I don't know if I'm a leader. You're a leader. I wave the magic wand. And you get people from Tom Ferry, coaches, Mike Ferry, coaches, Brian Buffini, Joe Stump, Craig Proctor. There's the Wealth, what do they call that? Michael Hellickson Wealth, Club Wealth. You got Rick G. Haas Company. What's that one called? Shoot, I'm blanking out. So there's so many great coaching companies out there. And they will come, they speak all the time. They'll bring business planning brochures and gather people. November's when you want to do it. You can do it last 3rd or 4th week in October, but I like the 3rd week in November. You got to have a clear vision for 2021. So 3rd week in November, they're going to help them throughout the US and Canada, Australia, and the UK. So start booking those and get with your leaders and get good speakers. And do business planning clinics for 50, 100. Ours, we'll probably have 500 in Sacramento, and we invite 100, 200 guests. They're blown away. We got the music pumping. We have amazing speakers. Everyone gets business planning workbooks. Just make it happen. Figure it out. You reach out to Mike Ferry and Tom Ferry and Joe Stump and Brian Buffini and Craig Proctor and Kinder and the different coaching organizations. Workman, it's called Workman. Workman Solutions and Michael Hellickson with Club Wealth, and there's Wailopo, and there's all these different companies. They'll come. Maybe you're not the guy, you don't have the confidence. Get the speaker. Sean Kokoska does them all the time. Ask Sean Kokoska to come. Ex-president of MAPS Coaching worldwide for Keller Williams, now at EXP. Let him do your business master. I think we had him last year, right? Yep. Excellent. Excellent. So you have not because you ask not. Set up those business planning clinics so we can all plan for 2021, 3rd week in November. Also, registration for Cabo starts September 15th. We'll have the website up. You'll all get an email, and we're going to be in Cabo. The date for Cabo, I'm blinking out right now.
February 21st to the 26th.
February 21st through the 26th. Now, the cool thing is you come 3 days early and get our rates. It's $225 a night, including your lodging, all of your meals at the Hyatt Ziva, all the entertainment, adult beverages, everything, $225 a night at the Hyatt. This isn't like an old Hyatt. This is a 5-star, top-of-the-line Hyatt Ziva on the water, beautiful beach, golf, tropical paradise. It's our mastermind in the tropics. Again, February 21st through the 25th or 6th, and you can come 3 days early and get our rates. Or maybe you can't come early, but you can stay 3 days late or 2 days and still get our rates of $225 a night, ocean view. Finances are tight. You can get a non-ocean view, partial ocean view. Those are $200 a night. Save $25 a night. Splurge, spend the $25. You're worth it. So again, September 15th, the website will be out. You can register. I would register quickly. It will sell out. Fair warning, it'll sell out like that. There'll be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the who's who at EXP there. It's going to be a big deal. Bring a guest. It'll blow their mind. You need a vacation. Come have fun with us. Golf, swim, snorkel, scuba, lay in a hammock, enjoy the beach, the infinity edge pool, all the good stuff. Look up the Hyatt Ziva in Cabo. It is stunning. And then on the 15th, sign up. You get your room through the website. You register through the website. It's all handled right through the website. Do not go to the hotel direct. It'll mess it up. You will pay more. And so we got to get you all connected, okay? So do that. Next, plan Christmas parties for your team. Get people together at your home. If you got a cabin, plan one up at the cabin. You got a beach house, a lake house, go do that. But you're the leader. Set up the whatever you could do that's, obviously we can't do it in Sacramento with 500 people with COVID, but you could certainly get 25 to 40 people together. I was in South San Francisco, just had 45 people to lunch. We were spread out, tables of 4 or 5, and we were 6 feet apart. Outdoor dining, downtown Burlingame, awesome. Great food, great times, 11:30 to 1, great community. There were all kinds of guests from prominent companies, Sotheby's, Keller Williams, Remax. They're all like, we're in, how do we know more? This is amazing. I just signed up, I'm about to sign up. It was a great time. And all we did was have lunch and people could see how fun we are. So to say that. Also, get together with your groups. People want to belong to a tribe. They want community. They want to be a part of a movement. They want to be included. Throw a movie night at your house. Order some Little Caesars pizza, Domino's pizza. It doesn't have to be round table. I mean, you don't have to spend a fortune. Have a barbecue. Throw some hot dogs and patties on the grill with some lettuce, tomato, pickle, and a sesame seed bun, and get some Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or a adult beverage, and have your group over, 10 of them, 20 of them, 30, whatever. This Saturday, Johnny, this Saturday, I am doing a luau for people I personally sponsored at EXP at my house. I'm roasting a pig. I'm having it catered. There'll be tiki torches and drinks with little umbrellas in them, and the water pool and waterfall and palm trees. It'll be a full-blown, like, we have a chef carving the roasted pig. It's going to be crazy. I'm doing something fun for you do something. I can't afford to get a roasted pig. Get a $6 Little Caesar pizza. Get 2 of them. I'll send you $12. And have people do a movie night. You see, it's your psycho. I can't afford that. I don't have a cool accent like Jennifer or Tina. You guys are beautiful. Be authentic. Be you. So we've talked a lot about the vision where we're going the next 10 years. It's going to be mind-blowing. This is the time. This is the place. Welcome to the next. Resistance, as soon as you make a decision to do this, all hell's going to break loose. Your car's going to break down. You probably lose an escrow. That's just life, right? Stuff happens, and you got to power through it, and you will step up, and just come on. You're an overcomer. You can do this. You're resilient. You're gonna get it. And so, and then finally, what is your greatest asset? It's hunger. Hunger is hunger's why you're going to figure this thing out. We have an agent, and she sold 5 homes her first year. And then the next year, in the first 6 months, she sold 32. What's that mean? She figured it out. I'm frustrated. I don't get agent attraction yet. Good. Frustration is a precursor to success. I hope you're frosted. I hope you are so frustrated and that hunger drives you to figure it out. Because once you figure it out, it took me 10 years to learn how to become a listing agent. Then there was total freedom. I had 18 to 28 listings. It was more controllable. Now, here's what they never tell you. That means I had 18 to 28 little bosses, little Napoleons. Why isn't my home being advertised in Unique Homes magazine? Your agent for the open house showed up 20 minutes late. We sat in the front driveway with our kids and the dog with the air conditioner running, and we are pissed. And I'm like, it's like, I don't miss that. And so, like, again, it's how do I get clients? And then you become a buyer's agent, you turn out to the listing agent, then you build a team, then you go buy a franchise or go independent. Skip all that. Welcome to the next. We will fight for you. We will go to war for you. So bottom line, enthusiasm is contagious. Passion is infectious. So, man, be out there, be real, be human, come from the heart. People will respond. Just be sincere. You don't have to be anyone, but be yourself and be excited. People are attracted to it like bees to honey. And so finally, I will see you in Cabo February the 21st. Don't miss it. Bring some guests. Watch your business grow. Come join us on vacation at our mastermind in the tropics. Love you all. Hope you enjoyed today. We'll see you here next Wednesday, same time, same place, 10 a.m. We'll send out the links this week. Can they use the same link for next week?
Same link every week.
Same link every week. So save this link. We'll see you next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, 12 Central.